Good day, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the GSR Podcast. I'm your host, Jose Angelo Zulueta, and today we have Sir Ian Cipriano,
Hello,
the Property
everyone.
Management Head. So, sir, for everyone who's viewing us for the first time and doesn't really know what it is you do, could you give me like a really quick description of your job and the things you enjoy doing about it?
My job is more about operations, specifically in after sales support of real estate properties. So, like I've been doing this for 11 years in real estate. Andito yung selling, but majority is more on after sales support when it comes on documentation, accountancy, and then even yung mga return of investment. Pinaplano namin yan with the investor kasi ito yung main objective ng investor, which is the reason why they purchase a investment property. They want the ROI, the return. So basically we are the pwede natin sabihin gamitin sa isang business term, which is like a fund manager nila sa real estate industry.
Thank you very much for that. So today we're going to be covering property reviews on the different developers and the different properties that are up there. But before we get into that, I am very interested in what you mentioned about being sort of the fund manager with regards to investment properties. So there are two types of properties in general, right? There's investment properties and then there's end-use properties. With regards to investment properties, and this is a question that I'd also like to field for you about the developers. As a property manager, how do you make sure the properties they invest in stay prime or stay as very good investments?
Okay.
Paano mo i-rating yung value nila?
Most of the investor talaga, not only local investor, even foreign investor. Actually, majority in Philippines, we do have lots of foreign investor. I could say, siguro sa data that we have siguro more than 65% foreign investor talaga. Pero it's a good sign kasi imagine, there's a 45% local investor. So, marami pa rin na local. Pero yung mga perspective nila is, most of them saying is yung location. Ito yung parang ano nila quote nila when investing a property. Location is very important. Especially, nangyari na to sa iba't ibang bansa. Singapore, Japan, it's those countries is like parang long time before they already developed this kind of real estate investment. Tapos sa atin, halos nag-i-start pa lang. Imagine, train stations in Japan is like 50 years ago. Yeah. But sa atin, we're just currently starting yung first subway. So, location-wise, like in connect with the development sa countries is the best investment. So, walang any hindi naman wala. Kumbaga, very rare if mag-down yung investment mo if it's in a good location. Ngayon, ang tanong, ano ba yung good location? So, yung good location is basically nandun dapat yung demand. So, maraming different study, kinakategorize yung iba't ibang demand when investing na the property. Hindi lang to dahil maganda yung property, good branding yung developer, pero it's about of understanding the demand in the future. You purchase the property now and then you calculate how much demand yung darating sa'yo in the future after the turnover. So meron ka bang capital appreciation demand, maraming klaseng demand, and then meron ka bang rental rate demands. So depende. So kaya ako nasabi yung train station kasi ang nangyari sa Singapore, sa Hong Kong, sa China, especially sa Japan is most of the property near station, yun yung nagka-capital appreciate ng mataas talaga at consistently. And then, yung rental demand, aside from capital appreciation, yun din yung mataas when it comes on rental demand. So, siguro I could say, ano pa rin, best property is not only yung stance ng good developer, it's all about the location of the property and then understanding the demand of that location.
Would you say the strategies developers are taking these days with regards to demand are becoming more updated? I remember in our previous podcast, we talked a lot about community cities being made as the bigger focus for developers these days. Like instead of individual buildings, they're building communities like BGC or like let's call it the ecosystem of SM or SMDC, where they have the condos on one end and the mall on the other. How do you feel about those developments? Do you think it's the best practice they're doing right now? And do you think in the foreseeable future, that's going to be the main strategy?
Actually, that's true. Kasi most of the developers, they improve their development into parang, developing community. Before, they are developing a single high-story building. But now, they want to develop a community where those buyers or those demand is sa community. Offices is here, then mall is here, parks is here, parang ganun. So, if you notice, parang way back 10 years ago, kung gusto mo pumunta sa isang area, dati wala pa siyang MOA, we don't have BGC yet.
Yeah.
Parang, all we know is parang we have CBD, Makati, it's a working district.
Mainly,
But now, we go to MOA, there's a residential, there's a entertainment, there's an office, there's a business. So, parang they are developing different city into like different community. Now, isa to sa nagiging strategy ng developer because they want to parang maximize yung location ng property. And then they want to create a demand dun sa mismong location na to. Kasi if you develop a single high-rise sa Makati, basically or automatically your demand is the office demand. So yun yung magpapataas ng market value ng property mo.
Kapag malapit siya sa mga opisina.
Sobrang dami ng ganun.
True.
The competition is even not only in Makati, ang dami dyan, may Mandaluyong CBD. Even Cebu and Davao, they do have CBD. Even Batangas, they do have CBD.
Meron na?
Yes, meron na. Tapos marami nang na-approve si government ng PESA city na which attract foreigners para to add up sa mga demand na pina-formulate ng government or ng developer. So, ang nangyayari ngayon is parang nag-aano sila. Dahil eto na yung area, they want to improve kung paano pa nila ma-attract yung demand. Not only locals, but even foreigners.
Clark is in the direction of Batangas now. Is it south or is it north? Si Clark.
Clark is north, Pampanga.
Okay. Because I was thinking since Batangas has a developing CBD, baka may airport na magkakaroon dyan, di ba?
Possible. Pero currently they are in the stage of developing the roads, improving even the expressway.
Medyo kulang pa yung infrastructure nila.
The city that you mentioned, Clark, is also they also have the CBD already. Yeah, near Clark Airport.
Yeah. It's a lot of food for thought because Iamura-san did cover this, and I can't overstate it enough that since we're getting subways and we're getting railway line extensions, that means demand for business in general in those properties is going to go up. So it's very interesting to think about, all of the communities that are possibly going to go get built in the future if this is the strategy they're going to go for from here on. And I think it's a really good strategy, honestly, because it feels like for quite some time we've been focusing on just building buildings without really considering one, how they affect the foot traffic, or right, or two, how they affect things in general. Like, have you ever passed by one of the malls or so under construction in a road that does not look like it would support people going in and out, and you're like, oh no, mata-traffic na to. Mas malala yung traffic dito.
No. That's the good thing about Philippines. Actually, I've been in different countries na rin. Tapos, if you can see those malls there, it's parang you can say it like dead mall. Even one client, I had a conversation with one client. He's living in Florida. Tapos yung mall daw sa Florida is there's no people like yung MOA sa atin or like even yung normal SM Makati sa atin. So that's the impact of population growth ng Philippines, which attract also the foreigner to invest here, not only in real estate, even into businesses. That's why there's a lot of collaborations. Like even Korea putting up money here, Japan putting up money here, China, because of lot of business potential, because we have this kind of big demand of consumers in the future.
That's true. It's very strange. We live in very strange times because we're still considered third world, our infrastructure is only beginning to bud into the second or first world stage. But there are some aspects of us that are so first world, and there's so much potential. People who are already ahead of us in terms of infrastructure and society growth, so to speak. Not society growth, but just business growth in general. They look at us and they're reading ahead. I like to think BGC is one very, very notable example because I remember talking with my wife and with a few of my colleagues, and they based BGC off of, what is it, New York? No?
Kinda.
Yeah, with the numbering and blocking system of the streets.
the
It's
street.
very United States of America, big city style. But hopefully, thankfully improved because we've seen the movies and how they're always super crowded with taxis at night. So it's interesting to think about. Would you?
They do have also a little solution about the solving the traffic. Imagine the traffic in BGC. It's not so congested like here in Makati.
True.
Yeah.
It's rough, but then it's
During
kind
rush
of
hour,
it's what you'd expect from rush hour, but it's not like Makati where it takes an hour and a half to go from Makati to Makati.
That's
Speaking
true.
of,
That's
would you
true, yeah.
know if the parks are privately owned or if they're collaborations between public and private developers?
That's true. It's at first it's already planned in the zoning because if they do like starting to develop a community, it should have parks. Parang one of the requirements. So in the zoning, every city should have parks. Actually, it's a cultural in Philippines also. If you notice, some municipal has parks. So ngayon, yung mga requirements sa mga communities is they should have like parks also para they could entertain not only the like yung age cap. Kunwari, for example, you are working and then you have a family, you have kids also. So any age, the city can entertain.
That's true.
So pwede natin siyang tawaging community kasi every ages, like there's a mall there, you can cater for every ages. Even yung mga elders or kids.
That being said, which developer would you say is the one leading the year with in Makati, let's say? So in Makati, BGC, in Mandaluyong, because those are our current hotbeds for business, right? Which developer do you think is starting off strong this year?
Ang hirap ng question. Marami magagalit sa atin yan.
Oh, that's fair. Okay, then let's redirect the question.
So sige, siguro pwede
if a
natin
developer
sagutin.
wants to be in the lead, right?
Yeah.
If a developer, not saying who, wants to be in the lead, what are the indicators that a developer is going to do very well this year, and what do you think they need to do this year in order to generate the most demand, so to speak?
Okay. Most of us, we know the top 10 developers. Siguro, pero hindi na natin i-grade yung branding.
Yeah, in no particular order na lang.
Let's say na lang siguro yung yung current development nila ngayon, yung mga pre-selling properties that they are offering now. Sa akin, ang laki ng improvements and ang laki ng adjustment compared dun sa mga development nila during the before the pandemics. So ngayon yung petition, si Megawide isa sa pinaka actually si Megawide is a mother company, but yung real estate company niya is si PH1. Isa siya nakaka-catch ng attention ko because of the big difference na in-offer niya sa pag-develop ng property. So meron silang yung loft system na yung loft you don't, parang no extra cost dun sa loft nila kasi usually it per square meter ang price, pero may loft type sila na hindi mo na kailangan bayaran.
Mina-maximize nila yung space vertical.
And then some added technology also in the development. And then yung credibility is they are one of the top, siguro I could say top 3 like construction company. It's a big company, Megawide. They develop airport, train station, railroads, even PTEX. Tapos biglang papasok sa real estate. Imagine yung construction ng property na yun. Kung gaano katibay like the MCI, so parang ganon. So compare with other developer, they don't have yung talagang construction company. most of them, nagkakaroon ng third-party partner construction company. Contractual ba? Compare with this developer, may sarili silang construction company. So I think it will give you a big difference on development.
Yung reputation mo.
Yeah, not only the reputation, but yung after the turnover the property, yung quality ng building na ibibigay sa'yo.
That's true.
Kasi nandun pa rin yung name nila dun sa quality na yun.
It also follows that if the quality isn't maintained, then that endangers the name of the developer.
Yeah.
Kasi if, di bale kung maganda yung name mo, pero kung yung aftercare mo sa mga buildings at sa mga customers mo, hindi maganda, yari na yung pangalan.
It will affect also their mother company, which is Megawide. They do have contract with governments. Even like different developer projects like Rockwell Proscenio, Megawide built that.
Oh, yeah. Proscenium's like one of the most sought after properties, right? In Makati. So PH1 is stationed right now or their main properties, they're stationed in QC, no?
Yes, QC, Timog, beside of ABS-CBN, and then they do have another development in Pasig.
Okay, so they're slowly moving into
and then
the middle.
Taytay.
Rizal?
So, yes,
That's
the Taytay Rizal.
East, no?
Yeah.
Eastward?
So most of the developer, compare before one at a time per year, but now like multiple developments in a year.
All with the same or similar technologies to shake up the condo scene, no?
Yeah.
Okay. It's really interesting. Have there been similar steps done or similar properties with, let's say, a mix-up or another unique selling point, but in Makati or BGC? Or would you say it's currently PH1 that's doing the most there?
In Makati, there's one developer that catch my attention because of the objective and the plan of development. But currently they are having problem with the Makati government. They are connected with the Makati City Subway project, and then this property is connected into that subway. So, but they're currently having problem. But they have this big potential. This one. So, aside from that, there's another development of Albeo also in Lorian. It's very good location in center of CBD, like in the De La Rosa. So Lorian, less than a year, it's sold out.
Fair enough, because it's right there. So
and then it's price quite pricey. It's around like 30 million to 90 million. Price, imagine.
Okay, that's really high. Yeah.
Imagine, but before the condominium there, like from like it was started selling at price around like 7 million, 10 million. But now, imagine the
30 to 90.
The price difference,
oh my God.
yes. So in Makati, in BGC, maybe I could say BGC it's good. There's a branding already, BGC. Even your like every developer that will develop in BGC, they can like parang kasama nila yung ganung branding yung BGC. It's a big impact. So kaya yung nagiging price doon is more than 10 million na pataas. So Uptown, siguro Uptown, I could say Uptown, and then Albeo projects in BGC.
What about FNG? I remember passing by a couple of maybe one or two new FNG projects that are going up as well.
FNG, one of the like good movements siguro I could say of federal land. So Federal Land has a tied up with Nomura Real Estate. It's one of the famous real estate company in Japan. And then ang ganda ng development nila sa Mandaluyong. So yung name is Observatory. It's like you have this privilege of the Riverview parang amenity sa Observatory. So the price is very competitive. It's around 9 to 11 million. Yung studio is 9 million. Pero for me, it's a good location also.
Yeah.
Yung FNG also.
I like that they're taking advantage of the river view to increase the price.
From that river view, you can see the whole city of BGC.
Oh.
Because in-elevate
It's right across, no?
In-elevate pa nila yung stance ng development nila yung observatory. Kaya siya tinawag na observatory, can observe the city of Mandaluyong and then BGC.
That's a good marketing tactic. Okay. How about developers that have... Could you tell me about your thoughts on which developers have successfully maintained their buildings well? Because I'm curious about that. Like, which developers have cultivated a good reputation for making sure that all of their properties are well looked after?
Medyo mahirap din siyang sagutin because I've been into Japan. Like, I saw lots of properties there, building properties. Imagine it's 30 to 50 years old, but it looks new. So, it looks new, yung building. So, ito yung secret na, syempre yung maintaining talaga ng properties. Siguro yung sa atin, sa Philippines, wala pa masyadong nakakalapit sa ganong klaseng management. Marami sa atin 10 years na medyo nagiging luma na, lalo na yung facade ng building. So siguro sa akin, I could say Shang Properties. Nakikip nila kahit papano. Shang, and then Ayala Premier. Na hindi natin alam yung mga bagong developer kasi nasa pre-selling pa lang sila. Pero for me, mga 20 years old na building,
Shang and
siguro
Ayala
Shang
right
and Ayala Premier.
There was a very interesting article I read, I think circa last year. And it also talks about Japan, where it's very, very fundamental to consider the life cycle of a property and how it plays a part in not just the real estate market, but in businesses. I really love that you brought up how 30 to 50-year-old buildings look new in Japan. Because apparently, you've been to like Tokyo or Osaka. They hyper maximize the space. Like, there are buildings that are 7-8 stories tall that may not be new, but then there are shops on every single floor. And that's part of their ecosystem now. That's where a lot of small businesses get their start. And the article went on to describe how this sort of thing is very much necessary. That we should... Because it was talking about a comparison of Japan and the Philippines, because our buildings don't always have the attention they deserve to be given. And the justification is even the 20 to 30 to 50-year-old buildings are going to find their uses all the more when we hit first world status, because that's where a lot of MSME business owners are going to gravitate to instead of the new buildings. And they'll have their time to be kind of seed beds or pots where those MSMEs can grow until they're ready to move on to the more prime properties. And sure, there's going to be a time where they're going to need to be demolished or replaced or the like. But the lifespan of those buildings, the possibilities of those buildings as seed beds or soil beds for budding businesses, and even renovations for the future, depending on how well you take care of them, or need to be explored further. Especially right now. I feel like now would be a really good
Japan
time for
kasi,
it.
they do have this ruling when it comes on condo corp. Wala pa halos actually, I could say na wala pa sa Pilipinas, pero they do have this kind of ruling na they have this maintenance deposit kung tawagin.
Oh?
Yeah. Sa Pilipinas, parang association just we have, diba? But doon meron silang maintenance deposit na the owner of the property is like paying for this one. And then this maintenance deposit, meron silang maintenance plan yearly or every 3 years. Depende sa condo corp. Doon nila kinukuha yung budget. So, iba pa to. So, aside from yun nga, hindi ko pa alam masyado lahat. Pero, nung tinanong ko yung isang property manager sa Japan, yun yung ginagamit nilang fund to maintain yung building as new, even 30, 40 years na they're using the maintenance deposit.
Do you have any favorite developers with regards to transparency? because that it
wow.
right it was also a very interesting topic
Yeah.
when with our
Maraming
last
developer
podcast.
magagalit sa atin.
That's fine. That just means that tells me everything I need to know.
Yes. Most of them naman, they are parang nag-start na ganon. Before, parang hindi. Kasi iba ang developer sa agent eh. Iba ang developer sa broker.
It's true.
Most of us, we are only talking with the brokers, and then they don't like know anything about this kind of information. Kaya siguro hindi na din nasasabi.
Yeah, and there's only so much we can do, right? Even with you and your job of property management.
And then a regular buyer naman, you cannot go directly to the developer owner to ask this some questions. So they are transparent naman. It's a matter of what are those questions that you want to ask, and then a right person to ask dun sa developers. So baka hindi lang siya na sasabi ng mga brokers. Pero most of them naman is transparent in the papers, in the documents. Hindi lang siya talaga na present all. Like,
yeah, that's fair. We're kind of in a rocky situation with transparency in general anyway. I mean, it's an overarching thing. Though I think what's very interesting to home in on is, once again, the word community. We talked about it near the end of the year, diba? Where the possibility of a community lifting each other up is a very beautiful thing. I guess the main point that we can home in on is that if a developer actually is receptive towards and focuses on their community, then demand for it will naturally go up. It's one of the things I really like about the Philippines, in that Filipinos, especially with the advent of SOCMED, they're not afraid to tell you which communities are good and which communities have serious problems. Like, we always joke about internet service providers, and we will set them on fire proverbially, and hopefully not literally, because if it comes to that would be horrible. But we help each other out. And it's something that developers should take note of, especially with regards to their name, right? You brought up how the name of PH1 is so powerful. It's like when Converge first came in.
Siguro yung most of the developers, if I will have a chance to talk with them or make a suggestions, siguro if they build a property, not only to attract the buyer, also to attract how this property can improve in the future for the benefit of the buyer.
That's true.
For example, creating a demand for this property. Most of them, they're doing this naman. Pero siguro yung ibang level pa. Lagyan pa nila ng ibang level.
Mid and long term, no? Because it's going to attract buyers anyway. Because how aside from attracting new buyers, what is the other way, time and tried and true tested for you to get more customers? It's word of mouth. So if a buyer is happy, right? And if the buyer is happy for the next 5 or 10 years, syempre they're going to go, "Oy, why don't you live here with us in this area?" Or if you're looking, diba?
That's true. Nandun ka nga sa magandang location. Yes, you're in the good location. Pero yung service naman kahit sa property management, they can improve this one. You have this very good property management naman. Tracking the demand. And then those property management can give you, like, they can offer yung rental income, sila yung mag-manage nun. Parang ganun. Like SMDC, they're doing that. They have this good stay. So, if you're
parang
looking
Hotel
for
101 rin, no?
Yes, parang Hotel 101. So, ito yung mga ganitong klaseng nag-create sila ng demand for the benefit of the buyer. Kasi yun ang nagiging disappointment minsan ng investor. Yes, they invest, pero after that, who will be the one to manage? How can I maximize the ROI? Parang, what I receive monthly is more on paying association dues and problems of the quality. Pero how can you help me to return my investment? So parang ganun. So I hope most of the developers consider those things for investor. Yes, we do have end user buyers, pero we also have lot of investor buyers.
All right. Well, that's a wonderful thing to end on. Let me just review everything that we've talked about so far. So, regarding longevity, buildings that and developers that have done well to so far keep buildings in good condition. We have Shang and we have Ayala Premier. With regards to developers that we need to watch out for that have a very strong stake, have a very good name for themselves already. There's PH1, especially because, well, one, they're mass expanding now, and they have the loft system, which is a very good thing in QC. In the foreseeable future, we're probably going to see more communities pop up because
That's true.
I think developers are already cluing in on how important it is and how much people in the Philippines, especially in Metro Manila, really want to have a sense of community.
Yeah, definitely.
And that sense of community is important both for end users and for investors because it's a way to generate more ROI. It's a way to help with ROI. And one of the overarching questions a developer must constantly consider is, how do you help the investors make their money back? Because being consistent with that is just as good and just as important as actually getting people to invest in the first place.
Yeah.
Did I cover all of that?
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right. Well, that's already a lot to cover, so I guess we're going to end it here. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us this long for this episode of the GSR podcast on property reviews. If you liked this episode and you want to see it again or you want to see previous episodes, we are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube Music. If you want to learn more about GSR, please feel free to follow us on social media. There is a Linktree QR that I will be flashing on the slide. Well, not me, but my beloved IT team. And you can also find us on pretty much every single social media at GSR Philippines. That's the @ GSR Philippines. We also have a website. That's www.gsr-ph.com. Once again, that's www.gsr-ph.com. So this has been the GSR Podcast. This has been Sir Ian Cipriano. And I am your host, Angelo Zulueta. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Thank you.
For all of your property needs, come to Global Strategy Real Estate, GSR. We at GSR are your one-stop shop for anything related to your property and more. From management to buying, selling, documentation, and maintenance, we have your back. At GSR, we aspire to provide the level of quality and service which put Japan on the map as one of the hallmarks of hospitality. Let us manage your property today.